An action-packed evening of goals and mistakes sees a Premier League goal fest for the first time in 8 years. Neymar sends fans into overdrive with comments about a potential move to the Premier League. Mateo Kovačić could start a bidding war next summer. And are PSG really on the downward slide? That and more coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host, Matt Folick. You are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. First up, and to last night's Premier League action, where David De Gea did his best Jordan Pickford impression and conceded an absolute howler in Manchester United's 2-2 draw with Arsenal. If they hadn't made two stupid mistakes, they probably would have ended up winning, but such are the things these days under Jose Mourinho that it's just not happening for Manchester United. Elsewhere, new Southampton coach Ralph Hasenhüttl had to watch his side get destroyed by Tottenham, even though Southampton did nick a late consolation. And of course, this means that Spurs go back above Arsenal just 72 hours after apparently North London was red. Have your say down in the comment section below, Arsenal fans. But the real fact of the day was that this is the first time in 8 years since every single team in the Premier League managed to score a goal. Back in November 2010, Manchester United had just beaten Blackburn 7-1 to go 2 points clear of Chelsea and Arsenal at the top of the league. Spurs and Manchester City were fighting it out for 4th, and Liverpool were down in 10th. This all on top of Jose Mourinho complaining in a press conference, of course. This was after he'd just seen his Real Madrid side lose 5-0 to Barcelona in a game which he poked Tito Villanova, the Barcelona assistant, in the eye. Some things never change. And next up to some transfer news, and Neymar has continued to fuel the fire that he is going to be moving away from PSG. Now, reports have been linking him with a return to Barcelona and a shock move to Real Madrid. However, we haven't heard too much about him moving to the Premier League. Until now. In a YouTube video, he was asked by Manchester City fullback of all people, Benjamin Mendy, whether or not he would move to the Premier League one day. And his response was, well, every great player one day will be playing in the Premier League. So now everyone has gone absolutely mental and the rumours are flying around. But if you think about it realistically, will he actually move? I'm going to say no. The only ones who could really afford him would be Man United or Man City. As for United, well, he's not going to move there if they don't have Champions League football, and it looks like a pretty poisonous atmosphere, so I doubt he'll be going to Old Trafford. And with Manchester City, Guardiola is very careful about the kind of character he brings into his squad. He wouldn't want to ruin the atmosphere in the dressing room or potentially ruin the amazing run that his team is currently on. Yes, they could afford him, but no, I don't think it's going to happen. On to some more transfer news now, and Mateo Kovačić could start a bidding war next summer, as he said that he won't be returning to Real Madrid. Now, this is because at the Bernabeu, he has too much competition for a starting spot. If he wants to play in the midfield three, there's Casemiro, Toni Kroos, and Luka Modric, the now Ballon d'Or winner, ahead of him in the starting lineup. If he wanted to play a bit further forward, the likes of Isco and Asensio don't look to be going anywhere, so he'll still have a hard time fitting in. As for the potential suitors, well, he's currently on loan at Chelsea, and they could be looking to make a deal permanent, as well as London rivals Tottenham. Now, when it comes to these two, Chelsea have obviously got a place in the team to offer him. However, they may not have Champions League football to offer him next season, so that could be a deciding factor. The same thing about Champions League football could be said for Spurs, but they may have a spot for him next season. Moussa Dembele in central midfield is going to be leaving. Eric Dyer doesn't look to be progressing as many had hoped. Moussa Sissoko, although in brilliant form recently, isn't always at the top of his game. And with only Harry Winks providing competition, Kovačić could find himself in a Tottenham side come next summer. And lastly but not least, speaking of Neymar earlier, his PSG side drew again last night. That means since they beat Liverpool in the Champions League, it's been 2 draws out of a possible 2. So are they on the downward slide? No. Absolutely not. They're still 14 points clear of Lille and well on their way to another Ligue 1 title. This is getting pretty ridiculous, and even though Neymar was injured last night and could be for the next few weeks, it doesn't look like they'll be slowing down anytime soon, and a draw is just a blip on their overall perfect record. But of course, you guys can have your say in the comment section down below about all of today's daily news and anything else you guys want me to talk about. Of course, you can click here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. Make sure you smash that like button down below, and I will see you next time. Ooh.